Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Mentoring in an Interconnected World virtual conference poster session, which will be available October 20th, 2021. And this is from UNM's Mentoring Institute. The name of my presentation is the Enneagram Model, Healing Dance Arts, and the Decolonization of Dance at UNM. It's presented by me, A.Vihilidal, and I'm from the University of New Mexico. I'd like to start off with explaining what exactly an Enneagram model is. An Enneagram model consists of 9 points, and on these points we attribute personality types. In between the points there are pathways, and those pathways, when combined with the points, can help to create or manifest an event in this case. So with all events, there has to be a base. And the base of the Enneagram consists of numbers 3, 9, and 6. So the components that I have mapped on this inner triangle consists of service, self-remembering, and love, or the universal self. The person that I mapped from UNM to the true self is Dean Harris Smith, because he represents the true self of the Fine Arts Department as well as the dance department, of which I am a part. Then we can travel the path to self-remembering, and I have chosen for self-remembering Professor Donna Jewell, because as chair of the Department of Dance, she is constantly allowing all of us, as a part of the dance department, to remember why we are in the dance department, what our goals are, and what we plan to do once we graduate. Then, the head of the department, we move to the universal self by traveling the path of universal love. And that would be Professor Amanda Hemp. And she is the head of the dance department. Then, traveling the path of truth, Amanda Hemp would reach back to the true self, Dean Harris Smith. In this way, we have what we would call the permission-granting triangle. These 3 professors would allow for the question, is this a noteworthy project? Is this a project that would help not only the people in the dance department, the fine arts department, but all of the students that are at UNM? When and if that permission were to be granted, we would move along to the 6 points of manifestation and their personality types with the pathways that are traveled between the personality types in order to manifest this event. So the first person that I would reach out to would be the principal reformer. And because this is mentoring in an interconnected world, I reached outside of the University of Mexico to Kent State University, Ohio. Gregory Smith offered an online class in the decolonization of dance and writing about the decolonization of dance, which I participated in. Then we would travel the path of introspection from the principal reformer to an introspective individual. The person that I chose for the introspective individual is Marisol Encinias. Marisol Encinias is the head of the flamenco concentration at UNM, and she is also the student advisor for the dance students in the dance department. She is very knowledgeable in flamenco and the understanding of what the decolonization of dance means. From the introspective individual, we would need to have a person that would nurture the manifestation. So we would need to travel the path of support from the introspective individual to the nurturing, supporting individual. And that person I picked is Dr. Patrice Rapard. She is the head of the Healing Arts Department in the Fine Arts. So, with the two very advanced people in their perspective knowledge of healing and of dance, we now have a supporter and an introspective individual for healing dance arts. Then we would travel from the nurturing supporter the path of protection. Because when you're manifesting something, it's like a little seed. And that seed needs to be planted and well protected. The person I picked for the passionate protector is Rujeko Dupushena. She is also outside of UNM at this time. She works at the University of Washington as a dance instructor. She graduated from UNM with her MFA. It was at that time I was first introduced to her choreography. As I watched her choreography, I reached the trance state and transcended. Although I never actually took class with Rujeko, I communicated with her, and I always felt her soul presence and her energy. She is from Africa, and Dr. Patrice Rapard did work in Africa with her healing arts. So here we have another connection. Reaching from the passionate protector, we would travel the path of further investigation. So after our little seed is protected, we need to grow it. We need to give it sunlight. We need to have very good air and strong soil with a lot of nutrients. And so the path of investigation, I chose Lucy Kalzakowski. She would be the analytical investigator. She was when I took African dance at UNM, she was the assistant professor to the professor that taught African dance, Male Fanke. Lucy would always help us with our assignments that were outside the classroom. So we not only learned the physical aspect of African dance, we also were instructed to investigate via research the essence of African dance by reading scholarly papers. Now, from the path of investigation, we travel the path of optimism. So we move from the investigation, from the investigator to the enthusiastic optimist. And that would be Male Fanke. He is also from Africa. He is the African dance instructor at UNM. When I took his class, he always had a smile on his face. He was always saying to feel the rhythm, feel the energy, enjoy yourself. This is what dance is. And I did feel that from his instruction. He was so enthusiastic and so optimistic. And from there, from the enthusiastic optimist, we would travel back the seventh pathway of the 6 points, back to the path of reform, so that the African American, the principal reformer, Gregory King, would then communicate with Male Fanke. So in this way, we have the 6 points in the seventh path. Now I'd like to just reiterate and explain a little bit about why I am doing this. I'm actually a student at UNM and became very interested in the Mentoring Institute. I seized the opportunity to become a part of this conference, and I am very happy that I am a part of this conference. So to reiterate, Part 1, Figure 1, we have the permission-granting triangle at the center of the Enneagram, which demonstrates the flow of those in authority at UNM in regards to the possible manifestation of this project. The people in this permission-granting triangle would communicate and collaborate on initiating and manifesting the Decolonization of Dance seminar program at UNM. Figure 2, Part 2, demonstrates the 6 points the scale of 7 at the end, which is always the subsequent beginning of a spiraling process of manifestation. So it's not just that these people would communicate with each other once, they would communicate with each other many, many times, so that from the base into the pinnacle of manifestation, this process of the Enneagram would be used by these 9 personalities and the paths. After the permission granting by the 3 administrators who completed the process at UNM, the 6 named above would then communicate and collaborate about the presentation of the Decolonization of Dance seminar program at UNM. They would work together within the parameters for budgeting and all other considerations after being set and definitely and clearly defined. Now, we want to consider, well, how would the students be involved? Dance students would be able to participate in 6 different ways. First, by creating displays in the libraries. Second, by operating the tables in the libraries. 3, encouraging non-dance students to sign up for the workshops and visit guest artist lectures. 4, educating non-dance students at the tables in the library about the Decolonization of Dance program and seminar. Creating the website for the event and teaching about the Decolonization of Dance on the website. Creating, and then finally, 6 would be creating an empirical study of the event to track whom, what, and measure the impact the event has on UNM students in the mentoring program at UNM and globally, since the theme for this year is mentoring in an interconnected world. So the professors would allow for a program wherein students would be able to acquire credits by submitting their plan of study. So if they were creating posters, they would get perhaps credit from the fine art department, and brochures, they would get credit for that, creating brochures, and for operating the tables in the library after the whole event was set up, the advertising for the event was set up. Then also people could get credit by creating the empirical study. So we could reach out to those in the psychology department, and a group of students could put together the empirical study, and they would and could get credit for that. So in culmination, I would like to say that I am very grateful for being a part of the Mentoring in an Interconnected World 2021. And I hope that you do consider this paper and this poster board, the Enneagram Model, Healing Dance Arts, and the Decolonization of Dance at UNM as a potential of something that could be manifested into reality. Thank you, and bye now from A.Vihilidal at the University of New Mexico.